Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 40 of the Squadron podcast.
That's a midlife crisis.
That is a midlife crisis.
A mid-set crisis?
Ooh,
What's the crisis?
We're not mid-set. We're almost in set 2.
That's the crisis.
That's the crisis.
I'm almost
We're
at
having
set
a
2.
crisis.
I'm almost at set 2 and I'm still having to process the amazing cards we're getting every day.
Oh boy.
I love it.
There's some amazing cards, including some of our cards that we got to reveal.
Wow.
If you check out our absolutely incredible video that we posted on Wednesday American time, Thursday Australian time.
Last week.
Would be the last video. We've noticed a little bit something different and that is extended on to these episodes too. It is the lovely thumbnails that we have.
We have gotten gorgeous new thumbnails.
Gorgeous new thumbnails done by Sprout Spores. We're
going to
be starting to put. You'll see their name is down in the
description. Of the video.
They're going to put up their Instagram on there, give us the links to that and everything. So look forward to checking that out.
We're going to do a bit of
thank them so much for being able doing the thumbnails for us. They are amazing. We love them so much.
We got a couple of other pieces of art coming through because another thing we should thank is you guys. We've got a lot more subscribers now. Again, as we say a lot of the time when we get new subscribers, we didn't think we would get anywhere close to this big. We're getting a lot of people. FFG's giving us spoilers. Thank you so much, guys. Xander and the team, thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. We absolutely love it every spoiler season. Just being able to be part of the content creators and giving you guys new cards. Thank you for the amount of views on that video. Wow.
Yeah, oh wow. We've
blown out of the
crazy.
water. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. This is easily the most viewed video that we have.
And thank you to everyone who recently subscribed. Welcome. And because of you guys, we've kind of started putting a lot more time and money into it. We put a lot of time into it already, but we wanted to kind of spruce things up. So you can expect the channel's going into a more creative rebrand in the next couple of weeks. You'll notice some of our graphics and things like that are going to get updated. And we're going to be looking
to get a nicer kind of set going on in the near future. We're not sure exactly when that's going to be coming, but we'll look forward to that and kind of like the future as we move into set 2 and we start ramping up some really interesting content.
All of my money goes to Star Wars Unlimited, half of it to Spy Squadron to talk about Star Wars Unlimited, and half of it to Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah.
But we have some awesome new cards today. We have, I'm going to say that since the beginning of Set 2 spoiler season, this week we have the most mechanically unique spoilers.
Yeah, we've got some really interesting cards. We've gotten our first few legendaries. I know we had the Mandalorian beforehand, but we've got a couple legendaries to talk about. We're so excited.
We got 2 really cool leaders. If you've seen the thumbnail art, who knows, might have given it away. Let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
So this, starting off with, we got Zori Bliss, Valiant Smuggler. This was Poe's weird love interest in the third movie, the 9th movie, the third of that trilogy.
Yeah.
She is a 5-cost Cunning Hero 4/7 Underworld. Notable trait this set, McClunky can bounce her. On attack, draw a card. At the start of the regroup phase, discard a random card from your hand. Discard a card from your hand. And then smuggle 6 for the same aspects. It's a pretty interesting card.
Yeah, this one's a fairly generic card, but generically good in the way that a 5-cost 4/7 is very good stats for its kind of thing, for its cost.
She's smuggleable.
And she's smuggleable for only 1 more than her cost, which is
actually
rare to see.
Really aggressive.
Being like a 6-cost 4/7 is still quite good, so it's got that really good value coming through from the smuggle.
I think running her in Lando is really good because you're not going to be using Lando's ability a lot. I won't. Like if you're building a Lando deck, I've tested with him a little bit. There's not enough cards right now to properly realize the deck, but with this leader, it's okay to maybe like every 2 or 3 turns pop his ability. This is definitely one of the cards you want to do it on because on the turn you flip Lando, you get a 4/7 that allows you to draw and facilitate more value.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the Lando deck is to really play to your mid-range outs and tricks in your deck. So she works really good in that. Her stat line's really good. The one thing about this card that's kind of like is discarding that card at the beginning of the regroup phase.
But at least it's not just like at the end of the day, you're drawing a card, you're discarding it. Really, you're not losing any hand advantage.
She is a 4/7 body. So I think the most important thing to realize is technically she's the stats of most on-curve So she's actually slightly better than most on-curve leaders when they flip on that turn. So that's what makes her pretty good.
The real trick is you play Lando, you pay 4 for her, you flip her, and then the next turn you still have 5 resources because you resource again. And then you play a card that's coming out, discard your whole hand, then you don't have to discard with her ability because you don't have any cards in hand. But we'll get to that later.
That's and that boy. Her friend, in fact, actually. Actually, that's really funny. That's really good. I like that quite a lot. I actually really like this piece. I think this is a great mid-range yellow hero piece. It's good to see mid-range yellow hero just get a genuinely good value card. Slap this in Jin. Slap this in Han.
I think this is our first contender for that kind of mid-range, like where it was just like, so I'm just putting Chewie in the deck, huh? And now he actually has some more options. It's going to feel really
Yellow
good.
had a fine top end with Han Solo, Chewbacca, and now we're getting more into the mid-range stuff, which I like quite a lot. I think this card's actually pretty good. I think it's a 3.5 out of 5 because I think it's almost an auto-include in yellow hero. Now, there's an event-exclusive pretty-looking Grogu, which is nice. And then in between that, we had 2 more cards. What are both of these cards for Hondo Ohnaka?
Both of these cards are for Hondo Ohnaka.
Well, one of them has Hondo on it.
Yeah, well, you kind of assume. But this one is Waybird Stowaway. It is a 3-cost command villainy. 2/3 Underworld. While you have the initiative, this unit gets +2/+0. So it's very similar to the
Ardent Trooper.
Ardent Sympathizer.
Ardent Sympathizer, yeah, that one's, I think, a 3/3.
Yeah.
And then it gets +2, so it becomes a 5.
But this one also has Smuggle for 4.
Which is why it's slightly
less.
It's interesting. I mean, honestly, not going to lie, pay 4, smuggle this out with Hondo, put a counter on it, make it a 3/4. If you have the initiative, it's a 5/4. That's kind of not too bad, honestly.
Yeah, no,
and then with
absolutely.
Hondo, or smuggle it out, get a 2/3, put a counter on Hondo. I think it works really well. I think it's kind of nice. And then, if you attach the next card to it, it's pretty good. But
absolutely,
I will give this one. I think this one's fine. I think this is probably more one of those draft smuggle cards, but I can see it working its way into a Hondo deck. So I give it 2.5 out of 5. But this next card, I rate this card a lot. I think this is
2-cost Armed to the Teeth. It is an upgrade, a aggression neutral upgrade, which is attached unit gains on attack. Give another friendly unit +2/+0 for this phase. It has a smuggle for 4, and it gives you 2 attack, 0 health.
This is a good card. I mean, we've already got Hotshot DL, which is a 1-cost +2/+0, lets you attack when you smuggle it in, and then pairing it with Armed to the Teeth is awesome. Like, this card works really well with a leader that we're about to talk about coming up. But this is just so solid for any mid-range aggro deck.
Yeah, even Hondo loves this card because you pay 4 for it, smuggle it out, give it +2/+0, and then give it a counter on the put another XP.
You put it on Hondo, smuggle it out onto Hondo, give him a counter. I honestly like going pay 2, put this onto Hondo, and then just going if you could... Oh, wait, no, you'd have to pay 5 to smuggle it out, I guess. But, pay 2, put this on the Hondo, next turn you smuggle out your DL, and then you get, you could smuggle this out the turn before, put a counter on Hondo, and then smuggle out the DL, put a counter on Hondo, swing for big numbers, and then, give another one of your pirates +2/+0. Honestly, this card genuinely is really good. Put it on your clan challenges. When they swing, they're going to buff another card, probably assumedly a Mandalorian.
I said this card has a similar thing to Benthic 2 Tubes, but this is essentially this is essentially a Benthic 2 Tubes you can slap onto another unit.
Yeah, you know what I actually really like about this card. You can run it. It's actually really effective in Grand Inquisitor deck because you could put it on something like a Cantina Bouncer. A Cantina Braggart, and then that makes it a 2/3. Attack, gives something +2/+0. Swing with that, untap this. Swing again with it, give something else +2/+0.
Yeah, absolutely.
Swing so it's pretty cool. Or put it on the Grand Inquisitor. Put it on the Grand Inquisitor, go, when attack, I will ping this, untap it, and give it +2/+0 after that. That's very nice. Really cool. Yeah. Like, that's actually a really nice interaction. GI gets so many toys this set.
So many toys. I love I have a mono red GI deck that I love playing with. There's so much that's going in that deck.
Because even just putting this, like, this card alone, I'd run 2 copies of it just to put it on Grand Inquisitor, attack, ping a unit with 3, untap it. You know, you could ping that Mandalorian. Ping it. It's got grit. Untaps at 4. Give it +2/+0. It's 6, and you've swung for 9 that turn. Oh, sorry. You've swung for 14 that turn because GI is a 5 attack, and then you gotta look into this.
There's some spicy stuff going on here.
But I give this card a 4 out of 5. I think this is because I remember set 1 we were like, where are our guns? Where are our cool gun upgrades? We got them.
We got lots of guns.
They listen. They answered.
Speaking of big things,
this is at the moment. This card is the most expensive costed card and the highest statted card in the game that we've seen. It is, in fact, not the most expensive card in the game. There is one more that we haven't seen. I believe it is number 109. I could be wrong, but that is what Jeremy said was his favorite card of the set, and it was the most expensive card in Star Wars Unlimited. So we have Finalizer, Might of the First Order.
Finalizer is an 11 cost command villainy. It is First Order vehicle capital ship.
That's that keyword.
It is 11/11 overwhelm with when played, choose any number of friendly units. Each of those units captures an enemy non-leader unit in the same arena.
It's essentially a board wipe.
Essentially a board wipe as long as you have the same or more units than your opponent.
Pretty much. Or it's a decent way to capture a Devastator and be like, get through my 11/11. There is one fatal flaw to this card.
There's one card that this card does not
Unfortunately, the Might of the First Order cannot stand up to a Death Star.
Yeah,
or a Super Laser Blast
is a big thing against this. I find, like, you go, awesome, I'm going to capture all your units. They go, awesome, Super Laser Blast, kill all your units, all my units return to my side of the field.
11. But I think it's important to note that that's not always going to happen. If you're playing into hard control, that's probably an option, and you can always sideboard this card out.
And even then, you're not really using this card because they don't have enough units to... Like, all the things that run Super Laser Blast right now don't really have the units that you want to be capturing.
This is just a great ramp payoff. Again, this is a great ramp payoff to be like, you know, if you are in a ramp mirror match, this is actually really good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there's if you play Devastator and then you play this, there's not a lot that they're going to do.
It's an unrestricted, essentially it's an unrestricted capture. The only thing is it has to be in the same arena. So if you're playing a ramp mirror match, you know, you're both Palpatines, and they they Devastator you, and you've got your Devastator out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need to get in, I can't trade here. We'll just pay 11. Pay 11. Your Devastator can capture theirs, or this can capture it, and then you've got some other capture on the ground. Capture their Royal Guard.
Yeah, now we only need a 7-cost capital ship, so we can do the true...
7, 8, 9, 10, 11?
6. Ruthless Raiders is a capital ship.
True, so 6, 7, 8, 9.
8 Chimera, 9 Relentless, 10 Devastator, 11... Finalizer.
And then whatever 12 might be. 12 could be Death Star, could be Starkiller Base. Who knows?
The true dream of capital ship, capital ship, capital ship, capital ship, capital ship.
I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to
say... No, 7's Galactic Ambition to play.
To play a capital ship. I think that the 12-cost card is not going to be... I've seen a few people say Death Star. I've seen a few people say... Starkiller. I think it's going to be Vader's flagship.
Could be.
What's his Executioner?
Executor. There's also...
Because Devastator was his flagship, and then there was...
there was another one that I was looking at that it could possibly be as well, but it's escaped my mind at this moment.
Yeah, it's Executor. I think... I personally think that it's going to be Executor. Because there was I believe there was a mention that it was meant to be in set 1.
Yeah.
And they moved it to set 2. And if it was meant to be in set 1, it's likely that it would have fit in the Imperial theme. If it's a high-cost card, we can once again likely assume that it's going to be a a ship. I don't know if they'd bring Death Star in this early. It's kind of, it feels a bit hard to balance because that thing's pretty wild. But you could bring in, because we've got one of Vader's ships, so it makes sense that we would get the one he was gifted after the assault on Hoth. But all in all, I think Finalizer is a interesting and powerful legendary. Yeah, it has some pitfalls, but that's what makes it balanced. So,
and also it's just big ship go.
Big ship do go brr. So I will give this one a 3.5 out of 5. 2 wacky wild cards coming up. Another command villain card.
Palpatine's returned.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
This card is absolutely nuts. This is a 6-cost command villainy event.
It's a Force event.
Force
It's
plan.
It's a Force plan. He planned it all with the Fortnite tie-in.
Play a unit from your discard pile. It costs 6 less.
Well, that's pretty good.
If it's a Force unit, it costs 8 less instead.
So, on average, you're paying 6 to get a unit back. To just play it.
Essentially, this card makes your discard pile your hand.
Play Ruthless Raiders from your discard pile. Get that double value again. Or, I'll Darth Vader you. Oh, you killed my Darth Vader? He's back. I'll play my big 8-cost set 1 Palpatine.
Oh, you killed it? Pay 6, play him again.
He's back. Very thematic that
Thank
it goes
you for
up
making
to,
him cheaper for me.
Very thematic that it goes up to 8, of course, because Palpatine's cost is 8. It's Palpatine's return. Somehow he's returned. This card actually slaps.
Oh, this card is actually nuts.
This card is incredible for ramp. This card is an incredible villain late game piece. You can get back so many cards. If my Avenger is dead, do you think I'm gonna care paying 9 for it again? Because you just pay the cost of the card again.
I just play it again.
Oh no,
but
my
from
Devastator is dead. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna play it again. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, this is any card. This is just any big card that you wanted to that you've already played and that's been destroyed. Coming back again.
If it just so happens to be Force, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
You can now run discard outlets in the deck. I'm gonna Force throw away my Palpatine to kill this, deal 8 damage to this, and then hey, guess what? It's turn 7. I'm gonna pay 6. I'm gonna bring him back. I'm gonna kill the rest of your board.
This can do
pretty good.
This can also do some really weird stuff, like if you're running green-blue, it can bring back Luke for 7
because
essentially the 2 cost negates the aspect penalty, 2 extra. So you just pay 7. Play Luke
you can just run Luke in the deck now, and you
can tell him to give into your hate.
He gave into his hate. He gave into his anger. Is that a Spy Squadron card reference? This card's so fun. This card is so fun. Yeah. I genuinely, this card is a 4.5 out of 5 for me because there is so much it can do. Yeah. So much. Every time a Force unit gets released, it's going to be better. Hey, I'm looking at you, set 3. Give me my Count Dooku leader. If there's one thing you guys know about me, I love Kanan Jarrus. Here's a new thing you love to know about me. My second favorite character in all of Star Wars is Count Dooku. I absolutely love him. Was really happy when we got Tales of the Jedi with Dooku. But, give me a Count Dooku leader, give me some more Count Dooku cards next set, and boom, I'm chucking Palpatine's plan in there, and I'm building Sith Lord Tribal.
Very nice. Out of the graveyard into the grey yard?
Into the grey? This grey card is not a grey card.
Right.
This is Grey Squadron Y-Wing. This is a 2-cost neutral hero rebel vehicle fighter 1/3 with a fairly interesting on attack. An opponent chooses a base or unit they control. You may deal 2 damage to it.
Very simple.
Very simple.
Very effective. A very interesting choice to force your opponent into, because one of those things about choices, especially choices, is easy for you to give someone as this. It's just like, I swing, what do you want to do? It can give you a lot of insight into what they're planning and what they want to do, whether they need their units for something, whether they do so it can give you some really good insight of just being like, I'm going to swing this at this, I'm going to take my first turn, I'm going to swing this. What are you doing this turn? What's your kind of
I think this is
drive?
A great payoff for aggro, mid-range, and control hero decks. I've seen a lot of people say this is a pretty bad card. I personally think this is actually pretty nice. I think this is better than the X-Wing at least, because it's got an interesting ability. One thing I will say notably, your opponent cannot choose unit if they have no units. They must then choose base. So it becomes an A-Wing essentially. But this is an interesting in aggro because you can essentially one thing that I think aggro players can learn is when to trade. And this card can make that a little bit easier. It pairs really nicely with the 2-cost Sabine. If you have like a turn 1 Sabine, then play this, you swing with this, go, hey, I'm going to ping one of your units, and they go, oh, I'll pick my Echo-based Defender, and you go, oh, great, swing my Sabine, ping it for 1. I don't lose anything now. You've just lost that. That can actually get you ahead in the aggro game. In a mid-range deck, this is just a nice piece because you can use your value pieces to capitalize off whether or not your opponent hits the base, or a unit. And in control, if we don't really have a hero control deck yet, but in the future if we get one, this is genuinely a decent win con because you can drop them down and keep killing all your opponent's stuff and then just going 3, 3, 3. Yeah. It's chip damage. It's probably not the most efficient win con for control, but it is one that you can look to. I think this is a pretty decent card, and it is nice support for Rebels. It's also
I think it's a good staple draft. I think it's really good. Going to be really good in draft. You're always looking for those turn 1 plays in draft. I think this is a perfectly good one to be able to be happy to grab.
I think it's great in draft. I think it's pretty great in constructed. Honestly, play 2 of these, tap layer, swing with both of them. What are you going to do? Deal 4 damage to your base or 4 damage to a unit? Pretty nice. So I give this card a 3 out of 5. Before we move on,
some interesting stuff dropped.
FFG gave us kind of like a mini banner with some information about the booster boxes for set 2, pretty standard stuff. But the interesting stuff is what's on the art. So first, I want to draw attention to the Cassian artwork.
Yeah, new Cassian artwork. Could be an event, could be an upgrade, but it's assumed that it's probably going to be another unit. Hopefully we'll get. Hopefully they'll keep with the red heroes.
That'd be great.
And throw us a Cassian unit that kind of synergizes back towards that first set. That'd be really fun.
Underneath Cassian, there's 5 cards. The Armorer, Rich Reward, and then TIE Phantom, which I believe is a Legends vehicle. I think
it's in a video game. It's in a video game that's in
It's
not
canon.
Exclusively Legends.
I think it's in Battlefront, and then it's also in Armada, like as a miniature. So don't get your hopes up there. But more excitingly and more importantly, they showed us 2 leaders.
Yes.
A hero and a villain.
Notably
not blue either.
We'll get a blue leader, I promise, at some point.
Like today?
But yeah, that'll be really interesting. We have a young Han Solo to go with the Lando.
Second double up.
It is going to be a red hero. We don't know much about it. We just see the kind of like little artwork in the side, and also
he's got 6 health. He's 6 health. He's a red hero, and he has the underworld keyword.
Yeah, and then a
big old Jabba.
Can't
see how much health he has.
People think it's very blurry, but I've heard people speculate that it's over 10.
I mean, he's thick.
And the unit has 8 health for. I can imagine him being like a 212.
212, flip it like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
He's probably going to resemble the Palpatine of the set. He's command villain, which is cool. I mean, it makes sense. The man literally commands the underworld. Like when
I say kinda, he absolutely does.
For thousands of years he did. I mean, throughout the Clone Wars, throughout most of the Republic, I think throughout the High Republic, the man was in charge because Hutts are long-lived through. I don't know.
I believe Jabba is not the leader of the Hutts in the High Republic, but the Hutts are definitely.
He's definitely not the leader of the Hutts in the High Republic. I don't even think he's the leader of the Hutts during the Clone Wars. I think he's just he's one of the Hutts until most of them get assassinated. Spoiler alert. But some pretty interesting stuff there. We don't really know too much more. We just thought we'd talk about it because it was released officially by FFG. Bit of a teaser, so we'll see more of them coming. Yeah.
I assume we'll probably get the Han and the Jabba leaders next week as the 2 leaders.
I think. Look, I think if Kylo Ren extended his hand to Rey, do you think she'd take it?
I don't know. Did you discard a card?
Well, to give her +2 attack.
Yeah, to give her +2 attack because it's the Kylo Ren leader.
Here he is
here. Very interesting leader.
He's rash and deadly.
Very cool artwork, I must say. I really like the artwork they've used for this one.
When Poe shoots him and he stops the bullet.
Surprising absolutely nobody. This is a aggression villainy leader.
It's almost like it was foretold in set 1 on the card aggression.
Well, that's going to come back to bite you because the cunning one has the young Han Solo, and the young Han Solo is also aggression.
Is aggression. To be fair, that man's really impulsive in that movie.
Speaking of impulsive and deadly.
There he is. This is a red villain. He has action, tap, discard a card from your hand, give a unit +2/+0 for this phase. Fairly interesting, very aggressive. But why discard? Well, when he flips at 4 resources and is a 5/4, 4 cost, obviously Force First Order, and this unit gets -1 power for each card in your hand. So that's why you discard. You want to play those early cost units. Yeah. Flip Kylo, put all the upgrades on him. Put a lightsaber onto him, then pay 1 for a DL. Yeah. Swing him for 10.
This is a card that this is going to be the definition. This is the Sabine of this set. This is I'm so convinced that this is the villain Sabine. Yeah. We had hero Sabine. She was annoying for a while, and now we've got villain Sabine, and this is what is going to be. What I love about this leader specifically, and what I think is so fantastic about this leader is so different to Bosk.
They're completely different.
But it's like, oh, you're playing so many card games fall into the trap of being like, oh, I could play this, but this is just better.
This is the better version. It's not.
There's so much, just in this set, these 2 leaders, they're just such different play styles.
You know what we should even do? Let's go back and look at the red villain leaders from set 1. You've got IG-88, which is similar, but not, because IG-88 wants you to spam the board with small guys and then have more units than your opponent in a more controlled, go wide environment. Yep. Vader is a control ramp leader. Yep. GI is a leader that is utilizing value. He doesn't really care how many units he has. He just wants to squeeze the most value out of it. Yep. Kylo Ren, in my opinion, is just a straight up punch your face, upgrade me as much as you can.
This is a dirty deck.
Yeah.
This is to me, and that's what's the difference between it and a lot of other decks that we've seen. And this is a dirty deck. This deck, every single win is going to feel like you've just ripped it from underneath someone else. Yeah. Like you've done some dumb shit and force lightninged your Kylo Ren to give him the extra 3 damage he needs because you had 3 cards in hand to swing for 8 with an upgrade on him. That's 25, and you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have run the 25 health base.
I think that this card's nutty because your opponent's going to be like, you're going to play a couple of small guys leading up to turn 4, and then they're going to be like, okay, cool, I've got the initiative because I'm not doing much. I'll swing with this guy. I'll tap this guy to give this guy a buff. Swing with that guy. And your opponent goes, okay, well, in between I'm swinging, and then they go, I claim, and you go, great, I've spent no resources. Flip Kylo, DL44, fucking full lightsaber, boom, 10 damage.
No. Tap Kylo, discard a card, give this +2 for the turn. Play Kylo. Pay 2, put arms to the teeth on him. Swing with Kylo.
Put 2 arms to the teeth on him. +4,
6. Swing for 8 with my Cantina Braggart.
There's just this, and it works really well with mono red.
Oh, this deck loves mono red.
It's actually really funny because if you at the 6 resource turn, you go pay 4 aggression. I'll choose to draw the card, which will make Kylo 3 power again, which means I can untap him, and then you use your last couple of resources to play the upgrades you draw, and then suddenly he's back to what he was, but he's untapped and he's swung. So it's really cool. Honestly, it's really, really rad. I like Kylo Ren a lot. I know a lot of people out there are like, the sequels, but they're in the card game, they're in the canon, and we should just enjoy cool stuff for what it is. I think Kylo Ren's awesome. I think that it was sweet that movie brought crossguard lightsabers from Legend into canon because they're probably one of my favorite types of lightsaber. How can you not think they're cool? I think they're my favorite kind of lightsaber. Cool. That or a light whip. They're pretty sweet. But, which is also in canon now, thanks to the Acolyte series. We actually saw the trailer. She gets her light whip out, so that's cool. But this card is so sick. I think Kylo's really cool. I think currently he's a leader that everyone's like, oh, he's bad. And I unfortunately, I think you're wrong. I think Kylo's really great. I think he's either
just different to everything.
I think he's a really fun leader. I think he could easily go 2-2, but I think that his ceiling is really high, and I think we could easily see this card just be the aggro leader of the set.
I think people will point at it and be like, "Oh, you can just kind of brick really easily and do stuff," and then you're like, "Yeah, it's the dirty deck. It's the deck that's just like in the trenches, just like getting squeezing every bit of damage it possibly can." But you are discarding a bunch of cards, so how? Oh, if only there was a card that.
If you discard it that turn, you can play it or something. Well, good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone, because Kylo brought his TIE Slicer with him.
Ruthlessly efficient, unlike Kylo Ren. That man commits self-inflicted property damage all the time. It's a bit cranky. But this card is straight up.
So did you rated? You rated Kylo?
4 out of 5. Kylo's TIE Silencer, that's the first time in a while I've forgotten. Kylo's TIE Silencer is I'm just so excited to talk about this card because this is, again, another legendary. This is our second of our 3. Finalizer was a legendary.
It's one of those things that you're going to miss this is a legendary a lot. People are going to be opening pack. No, I didn't get any legendaries, but there's a Kylo's TIE Slicer right there. And they're like, oh yeah, it's a legendary.
And it's a legendary because it has a really unique ability. So it is a 2-cost, 3/2 first order vehicle fighter action. If this unit was discarded from your hand or deck this phase, play it from your discard pile. So your opponent mills you with vigilance, and you can just punish them by playing an aggro piece.
Tap 2, play this.
Your opponent goes, oh, Kanan, flip this, I heal 2, and you go, right, I'll play the card that can deal 3 damage.
Yeah.
Or discard it to your leader effect, buff something up, and then pay 2 and play it. This card is awesome. This card is so cool. And
can't wait to turn 1 with Kylo. Be like, I'm going to activate Kylo's ability to discard this card to give nothing +2, and they're like,
just play
you're just going to play it? Yeah,
I'm just going to play it. But this is definitely an awesome turn 2 play. Yeah. Like you turn 1, play that 1-cost 2/1, ping a damage to each base, play another one, put a DL44 on one of them, and then discard a card and give it +2/+0.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then play this guy.
And then tap 2 to play this card. It works really well with a lot of things. I think if you ran blue Kylo, which would be really interesting. I think you definitely could be something where you play something, then turn 2, you slap Resilient on it to let it survive that turn, and then go, awesome, now discard this TIE Slicer, give it +2/+0, then play the TIE Slicer, and then you have a really cool, you just taking out units with it.
Mono red Kylo.
Also,
it's in the deck, I flip my Kylo, I pay 1, I force throw, I discard it, deal 2 damage to you, pay 2, here he is. It's back.
Yeah, I would love to see some more, obviously we have Kylo who's Force. I'd love to see some early Force coming through for red villain. I
mean, we've got Fifth Brother, but it would be cool to see.
Fifth Brother is really good, but the problem is it's almost too good where people need to remove him so quickly that you're like, I just want him for the Force keyword to do other stuff, and they're like, he's too dangerous to be kept alive.
He is though.
He is. No, it's absolutely valid.
He for real is too dangerous to be kept alive. That man cooks. I like this card quite a lot. I think it fits really nicely in the deck it's in, and I think a lot of people underestimate it. This card, straight up, guys, is literally just a solid villain space aggro piece. It's a 2-cost 3/2.
I think it's very easy to look at this card and be like, but it's a legendary. It should wow me. It's like, no. It's just a staple.
Legendary
is a staple early game card, which is a lot of time can be looked over as legendaries as opposed to something like the finalizer with this big
it's oh my god, it board wipes. It's 11/11 for over.
This is just a good
card. It's a good that IG88 deck that I've been playing for quite a while now. I really enjoy it. I'd love 3 copies of this in the deck. That'd be such a good opener to be like, play this next turn, or drop a TIE fighter and then just swing for 4 with it, or surprise strike at turn 2 for 6.
You'd love it.
Pretty good stuff. I give it a 4 out of 5. I think this is a really good card. Now we get to a card as seen in Andor, It's a rickety quad jumper.
I love this. I love the difference between the
Yeah,
tie slicer and this.
It's like a really
Just-
sleek
yeah.
quad. And
And then just I just imagine this
my sheep.
spaceship sounds like.
Yeah. This is like that guy's like, been in the family for 4 generations. This is Pappy's quad jumper.
Is this not? Is this not the ship? I thought this was the ship that Poe and. No, they escape on a TIE fighter and then crash it, right?
Yes.
For some reason, I thought this was a sequel, but
there are quad jumpers in like a bunch of stuff, but I think
This
like
one's rickety.
one of the notable appearances is in Andor, and I like to think it's the rickety one from that.
it is a 2-cost vigilance neutral card. It is a 1/3 fringe vehicle transport, and on attack, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it is not a unit, give an experience to another.
It's pretty cool.
Unit.
It's kind of like Quill.
Yeah.
Kind of like Quill. You don't discard it. You can get some like neat.
I think if you're running like a very heavy event-heavy list,
I mean, Mono
this is
Blue's
not a
kinda
bad
like that. Well,
turn one play.
it's upgrades as well.
True.
So if it's not a unit, so if you flip like an upgrade, which honestly, this isn't outstanding, but it's not too bad in Mono Blue.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I wouldn't mind running this in a few different decks.
I think like in a Mono Blue deck where you've got like, it binds all things, you've got four, like one with the Force, you've got like, devotion.
I would have loved for this to be a 1/4 like C-3PO and R2-D2. I feel like that would have really taken it over the edge of like.
You can always put the experience counter on it, which is I think is the important thing. So like if it started as a 1/4, it would then be like, oh, I'm a 2/5 and suddenly a 3/6, and then it could run away pretty quickly.
I suppose that's the difference between space and ground, right? We've always known that's kind of been a little bit less. So it's essentially the same thing. But
this is kind of like just a C-3PO.
Yeah, it's like you're still guessing. You're still guessing whether you're going to
I like it in draft. I like it a lot in draft.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's quite good in draft.
And I think this is one of those cards where it's like, once again, it might not wow me, but it's definitely not bad. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I think that's got sex in.
Speaking of cards that have wowed me,
whack. This card actually wows us.
This card wows me. I've been sufficiently wowsed.
I love that our Ichiwama, our Golden God, C-3PO. He looks so good in this art, and it's him and R2 when they crash onto Tatooine. They're having
the very first one of the very first scenes in Star Wars to ever come out.
They're having a new adventure.
No,
there's two dudes.
So cute.
Just those two boys.
This card is going to destroy you.
It's our first dual aspect card.
It's going to rip you apart.
It's our first
take no mercy.
First dual aspect card of the set.
Absolutely.
And of course, it's yellow. In set 1, yellow had all of its dual cards revealed before anyone else.
True. But we do love this card. It's super good. We're going to go through it. It is a 2-cost cunning gambit. It is return a non-leader unit that costs 6 or less to its owner's hand. Then that owner may play it for free.
May I list off a few units?
Go for it.
Bodhi Rook.
Ha.
Cantina Bouncer.
Aha.
Syndicate Lackeys.
Oh, no.
Aussie Tuck Liberator Gunship.
Yep.
Man, there's so many. Like if your Chewbacca's damaged, replay your Chewbacca.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is like, the on-play effects can be really good. Yeah.
You swing Ruthless Raider, bounce it, play it again.
And then you go, oh, wait, this is
really good.
You can Chewbacca back, like I swing it to Chewbacca and I ready him and I go, okay, I'll swing to base. And they're like, all right, claim, I'll kill him on my first action next turn.
And you go bounce him.
I go, cool, bounce him, play him for free.
Sneak. You said a really cool interaction with sneak attack.
Yeah, so if you sneak attack something in, it comes in readied, you swing with it, then you pay 2. So say you, for instance, let's go, you're on turn 3, we have 4 resources, right? You pay 2. Bodhi Rook, discard a card. Bodhi Rook comes in ready because of sneak attack. You swing, you clear something with Bodhi Rook. He takes, say, turn 1 they played a...
Just anything. Just any 2/2 or 2/3.
Yeah.
And Bodhi Rook
kills it, and then you pay 2, you bounce it back.
Swings for 3 at base.
Or swings for 3 at base, and then you pay 2, play this, bounce him back to your hand, play him again, and you've grabbed 2 cards out of their hand and swung with a 3/3.
I would like to...
And that's not even including whatever your turn 1 plays.
I would like to play the Millennium Falcon and swing for 3. I would like to pay 2 and play the Millennium Falcon and swing for 3.
Yeah, this is a control card where you can just
It's a mid-range card.
It is a control card that you can bounce your stuff that can remove stuff or discard stuff and play them again. This is an aggro card that can bounce your stuff
Bounce my
and
Wing
return
Leaders and my
stuff.
Fleet Lieutenants and play them again for free.
And this is a mid-range card where you can just get value on a lot
Buddy
of
Rook, Buddy Rook, Buddy Rook,
effects.
Buddy Rook, Buddy Rook, Buddy Rook.
This is a fantastic
He's
card.
going to
and
Buddy
this is-
Rook at your hand, and he's going to pick whatever he wants, and he's going to do it again.
Yellow already had contention to
So
having
much fun.
the best mono yellow
This
dual aspect cards.
really makes me want to play Yellow Jin again. Because Yellow Jin hand discard with
so
Bodhi and this is like so real.
Bodhi with this card is my new favorite thing.
Yeah, because you just be like,
Because me and you have loved Bodhi for so long.
yeah, because he's so. We've loved Yellow Iden for so long, and now I can be like, oh, Yellow Jin. Oh, because I was about to say mono blue Iden. Look at all those events. What if I played Bodhi Rook and I took this out of your hand? Bodhi Rook, I'll take your vigilance, and they go, oh, well, I'll do this instead, Charlton. And you go, all good, pay 2. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna pay 2. I'm gonna do it again. And now you have no cards.
And if you want to check out a mono yellow deck going in action, check out the gameplay this week. You might be able to see a little cheeky mono deck coming through.
That would be very, very
I haven't
good.
put this through, but, and this has been confirmed that we're all good to do it. I've seen a couple of other groups starting to do it. We are going to be doing set 2 gameplay starting next week.
Next week!
So next week is going to be our big starter battle.
Yes.
He's going to be the Moff Gideon.
You have
I am
something I
going to
want.
be the Mandalorian. But yes, that all starts next week. And we will be moving on and being able to put in those proxies and play
We'll do
these
our
decks
own
that we really want to
constructed
play.
decks after that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, definitely tune in next week when we start to use those
With
set
our cool
2
new
cards.
starter surge trainer. The starter decks this set are like so good. This card's 5 out of 5. A new adventure is actually so nuts because it combos with so much. The balancing factor of it is double yellow. So
Yeah.
that is, and one of my favorite things about Star Wars Unlimited is they can so easily balance cards just by slapping an aspect on there and going, hey, if you want to run it in a deck that would make it broken, well, you have to pay extra too. Like I know I said
I
Ruthless
feel like
Raiders
this is
with
definitely a card that you pay for. I think
Yeah.
this is definitely a card we're going to be seeing getting played out of
for sure.
aspect. And it always seems to be the dual aspect cards that gets played out of aspect. I really like how well they've balanced those dual aspect cards to put it through.
6 resources, which is the same amount of that Ruthless Raider comes out on.
Yeah.
You could sneak attack Raider in, deal 2 damage, deal 2 damage to base.
Well, sneak attacking Raider in would cost you 5.
Oh, sorry. I guess the next turn, you could play Raider with sneak attack, 2 to base, 2 to a unit, swing for 4, bounce it, play it again, and 2 to base, 2 to unit, and you don't lose it.
Yeah, no, that's what we didn't actually get to. We were talking about the thing. You don't lose the card from sneak attack because it's technically a new card that you've played.
It's really great because honestly, I love it. It's a 5 out of 5 for sure. I like this card too because a lot of people are like, "Where's my aggro hate?"
Here's your aggro hate.
There's been a lot of aggro hate.
There's been a lot of aggro hate, but
Concord
this is a very
Dawn
good one.
Interceptors.
Yes, this is a 3-cost vigilance heroism 1/4 Mandalorian vehicle fighter. You might be saying a 1/4? That's not that great. Well, it's a Sentinel, but a 1/4? That's not that great. When this unit gains +2/+0 while defending. So while defending an attack from an enemy, this is a system patrol craft.
Which is
for all
so good.
On all levels except physical, this is a system patrol craft.
It's a Mandalorian, which means you can buff it with the 2-cost Clan Ren Skirmishers, the 3/3, I can't remember what it's called.
Warrior.
Mandalorian Warrior. Buff it up. Buff that boy. And it triggers things like Bo-Katan's ping.
You can put shields on it with
Armorer. It's awesome.
It's a very, very good card. They're going to be very, very strong in these blue Mandalorian decks.
I've already built a blue-red Sabine deck, and
terrifies me.
One of my friends that I play a lot with has built a blue-red bow deck. They're very similar, and I can tell you right now that aggro Sabine Mandos is really good, and mid-range Bo-Katan Mandos, if you're running a Go Wide Weenies deck, you're in trouble. I I love this card. I think it's so cool. It's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. It's so solid. It works very well in Mandalorians and decently in others. Like, it's more of a sideboard card for blue hero decks that, like, I want to come against aggro and I want a cheaper version. Like, in Luke, right? At the same turn you would System Patrol craft, you can do this in a shield. Yeah. Or, in another leader coming up, you could play it and then you could buff it twice. And then it's defending for 5.
That's terrifying.
That's awesome. But this is definitely a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Back on the mono yellow Jin hand discard train.
Remember when we were saying we could bounce hand discard stuff and play it again?
What if you bounced control pieces?
So this is Kira.
She's here.
Playing a part. She is a 4-cost cunning hero. Didn't actually expect her to be a hero. Expected her to be a neutral character. But I've probably been reading too much of Afrocomic, where she is not a good person.
No, this is this is Kira at the very beginning of the movie, where her and Han are like, they're in love and all that jazz, and then they get separated, and Han goes to war and meets Woody Harrelson.
Good guy.
And then she becomes a criminal.
And then she starts the blood something.
She's a criminal.
She's a criminal leader of a fucking cult.
But this is back when she was just a normal lady.
She's a little nicer. But she's a 4-cost 3/5 with, when played, look at your opponent's hand, then name a card. While this unit is in play, each card with that name gains... costs 3 more for your opponent to play. This is a slightly more higher costed, much better bodied,
much easier to play with.
Yeah,
Regional Governor.
It doesn't completely stop them from playing it, but the fact that you can look in your opponent's hand before you choose changes everything.
So I've come to address the rumors. A lot of people say a Regional Governor is not a good card, and I disagree. Regional Governor is an incredibly, incredibly good card. It's incredibly powerful. You need card knowledge, and a lot of people can struggle with that with 262 cards in this game already, and soon to be over 500 next set. It can be difficult to remember all of the cards and what are in certain meta decks and things like that, especially when you don't play a lot or often and you play at large-scale events. It can be very stressful to figure out what to name. So Regional Governor is not a bad card, but it relies on card knowledge, which can be difficult for people. Yeah. This card is incredible because it removes that problem. You can look at your opponent's hand and then choose based on that. So, also, if you have the initiative and you're playing against Mono Blue Iden, you can pay 4, look at their hand and go, I'd like to name Vigilance.
Yeah, you can look at their hand, see what card they want to play this turn. Usually, you can kind of guess what they want to do this turn when you look at their hand, and be like, all right, don't play that card, essentially, only play that card,
which is incredibly brutal.
Yes, absolutely.
And then in decks again, like Jin, this is really good because of her body. She can trade really nicely.
Yeah, and this is a card where you're not unlike something like Bodhi Rook, where you're playing it and you want to play a new adventure on that same turn to bounce back and play it again. This is the perfect card to be like, I play this, I name that card, I claim. Awesome. Next turn, down the track. I play a new adventure, bounce it, play it again, name the same card to stop you from playing it this turn as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good card. Very fun card.
You don't have to, so it's not for the turn.
No, it's just while this unit. For some reason, I thought it was for the turn.
So you could new adventure it back to name another card. So you could shut off the play, and then later in the game, you could be like, I do not want you to super laser blast me. So I'm going to pay 2 and change the play.
You can now have your vigilance.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter anymore, because you're not going to be able to kill her.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
I would name Super Laser Blast now. So I think this card's really sweet. I give it a 4 out of 5. I think she's a great yellow piece for hero, great control piece, slows down the game. Slaver's Freightor.
This is a very interesting card. This is a 5-cost Cunning Villainy now. 4/5 Underworld Transport Vehicle. When played, you may ready another unit with power equal to or less than the number of upgrades on enemy units. What were we just saying about yellow cards with good when played abilities?
Or this is one of them, of course, because if my opponent has... So you know, I could have my Boba Fett leader with Boba's armor, and then my opponent could be playing Mandalorians, and they could have like a shield here, Mandalorian armor there, you know, experience counters on their spaceships, and I go, pay 5, play this. You know, swing Boba. I guess, yeah, I could swing Boba, untap 2, pay 5, play this, pay 2, new adventure back, play this again, untap Boba, swing Boba, untap 2, and then pay 2, and new adventure, bounce it back to my hand. I play it again, I untap it. I can swing Boba, which would let me untap 2. So and then of course I have my 3rd new adventure in my hand, so I play my new adventure, and then I can swing with Boba 4 times in a turn. For how much is that? 24 damage. And a total of untapping 8 resources.
That could just end the game.
Yes. If you're lucky enough to have that. If you're lucky enough to have 2.
Fet's Fire Spray.
Oh man! Oh my god, you can new adventure Fet's Fire Spray!
You could Fet's Fire Spray.
Actually criminal. Actually criminal that I can go Fet's Fire Spray, swing with it, and then go swing Boba, untap 2, pay 2, new adventure, play Fet's Fire Spray, swing Fet's... Ew! Ew! Icky! But also... Why does Boba always get the cool toys? He's got Boba's armor, he's got a new adventure. Boba doesn't need to go on any more adventures.
Especially not mono yellow Boba.
No, the green one needs to go on more adventures. I'm glad that Slave is free to help me realize how good a new adventure is in yellow Boba with unrelated cards. But being able to untap
the downside, the thing is on that, your opponents need to have 5 upgrades on them. Which, yeah, in Mandalorians isn't particularly hard, especially when you have XP counters flying all over the place.
But if you're new adventuring...
And plus bounties that you can chuck on.
If you're new adventuring Fire Spray, it doesn't need the Slaver's Freighter.
New adventuring Fire Spray is just a whole different thing.
That's criminal. Slaver's Freighter is interesting, and I think this card's going to be really cool in draft, and it will steal games in draft because you'll be able to be like, hey, you've got like 4 upgrades, or even in a bounty deck.
Yeah.
Put the bounties on your opponent, swing your boss into them, claim a double bounty, and then play your Black Kassantan, swing at their base, and then play this and go, cool, Black K gets to untap because of your bounties, and I get to swing again. So that's really cool. This card's very interesting. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Oh, man. Our cards, you've seen them, you know, you love them.
You love them.
Given the anger, and then Ninja Outpost Constables. Ninja Outpost Consultants.
Ooh. And then we move on to the first Vigilance unit, leader of the set, and it is a doozy. It is Rey, not Rey Skywalker.
Rey.
Just Rey.
More than a scavenger.
Slightly more than a scavenger.
She's got Force and Fringe, meaning that she is slightly more than a scavenger. So... If I were Kylo, you were Rey,
got it,
and I offered you my hand, would you accept it?
Ooh, no.
I have units with 2 power.
Ooh, hell yeah!
Oh, well, there you go.
Action: 1 energy, tap 1 resource, give an experience token to a unit with 2 or less power.
Well,
this is a
that's really good.
Weenies deck.
So if I play an R2D2 or a C3PO, I can turn 1 make them 2/5s?
No, because C3PO is 2 cost.
Oh, if I play R2D2. Yeah. Or Chopper. I can make Chopper a 2/4. I love Chopper. What do you mean? Why is a Metal Menace?
Okay, sure.
Or, my personal favorite, I can play Clone Deserter, and I can get a turn 1, 3/4, restore 1.
Nothing wrong with that.
Pretty great, actually.
Nothing wrong with that. She flips at 6.
Indeed she does. What does she do on her flip side, though?
Oh boy, does she do some stuff on her flip side.
She certainly can't have any, like,
she's a
crazy red abilities, right?
With the on attack, you may give an experience token to a lesser. She still has that cool ability.
Right?
And also restore 3.
So, whoa, wait a minute, whoa! So you're telling me that the second card in the game to receive restore 3 is a leader, when the other one is Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight.
Yep, so you drop this, you restore 3, next turn you play Luke Skywalker, you restore 6.
Notably, Rey...
You swing into something with a bounty, you restore 5 more.
So silly. Rey Chirrut, Ray Chirrut Force Twin Sons. Ray Luke Twin Sons. They flip on the same turn, and you can go swing buff Ray, swing Luke, give her a shield, restore 3 next turn.
And that's one of the big things. She can buff herself once.
She can buff herself one time. This leader is so sweet. If you're, I think currently the optimal way to. Go on.
I know it's silly.
Yeah. Go on.
Can you disarm yourself, give yourself an XP, and then at the end of the turn it gets higher than 2?
Yes, you could.
That's interesting. Don't listen to me. This
crazy.
is the weird ramblings of a madman right now. Do not put that in a deck. I will. Don't.
But I mean, just like, it's really cool, and I think that green works really well with her, and I've seen a lot of people just be like, oh, she's just a worse Luke. She's not. She's a completely different deck than Luke. Luke wants to put shields on mid-range units. Ray wants you to build up and go wide. Put your counters on Akbars. Put your counters on Mothmas.
Luke wants you to keep playing on like one below curve, whereas Ray wants you to drop multiple 2 costs and
and play like buff them up.
Yeah.
Like again, a clone Deserter was a fine unit. 1 cost 2/3 restore 1 bounty draw a card. That's like, yeah, okay, I can see it. A 1 cost 3/4, a 2 cost 3/4 restore 1 bounty draw a card. That's absurdly good.
Yeah, and this also is one of those things that puts into more context the Mandalorian legendary that we saw and goes, that's who you're for.
You run it with this deck to heal. There's also like a butt ton of Mandalorians, and also Grogu is a 2 cost. So, but like you can run Grogu in this deck, and you can buff Grogu 3 times.
True.
And he becomes a
3/8.
And then you put the lightsaber on him, and he's a 6.
Stop it.
He's a 6/11.
Stop trying to make Grogu an aggro deck.
Grogu's 6/11, and then I play the Mando, and I put 2 shields on him.
Grogu's 6'11"?
Yeah, Grogu's 6'11" when Ray's in the room.
Does he play basketball?
Yeah, he does.
Grogu dunks?
Yeah, Grogu dunks for real.
Oh, you had it here first, folks. Grogu dunks.
Grogu dunks on your Devastator because he goes...
You know who else dunks?
Whoa. I'm not done yet, kid.
Oh, well.
I give Rey a 4 out of 5. I think she's really good, and I think it's incredibly important to remember that just because Rey is blue, that does not mean she's Luke, and those decks play
very
completely different. I can run the same cards in the 2 decks, and those decks will play completely different.
Speaking of people who dunk...
It's the man, the myth, the Poe Dameron legend.
Can we talk about how good this art is first? Before we even go into how good the card is, how good this art is.
They fly now?
They fly now. And he is fly now, if you know what I mean.
He is fly. Oscar Isaac's handsome in card form.
Right? And he's just...
It's so cool.
The jawline. Look at the jawline on this man.
The movement around him as well was really cool.
Yeah.
I think they genuinely really
smashed this one out of the park.
He looks exactly like Oscar Isaac. And not like the Hans, who look like 6 or 7 different actors, which I think is a really... The Rey art's also really, really nice, actually. Looks a lot like Daisy Ridley. They did a really good job. This card is also absolutely wild, awesome, and a great example of how between sets, cards will be supported and things become full circle. This card helps me realize why Black 1 is the way it is. So, Poe Dameron, quick to improvise. He's a 5-cost aggression hero, which is as to be expected.
Yep.
6/6 resistance. You heard that right, folks. It's a 5-cost 6/6 for hero. That's above curve.
Yeah, it's really good, and that it only gets better.
He's on attack. Discard up to 3 cards from your hand. For each card discarded this way, choose a different option. Deal 2 damage to a unit or base, defeat an upgrade, or an opponent discards a card from their hand.
This can swing 8 damage easily.
I will gladly every turn discard 1 card to deal 8 damage.
Yeah.
And my opponent Poe can't be takedown.
If you discard a card, you become a better Vader. Because you're swinging for 6 and pinging 2 to something.
For 2 less resources.
Yep.
And you could swing, discard your... Let's say you've got 4 cards in your hand. I swing, I discard 3, I go, you discard 1. I'll pop that card, or I'll pop the entrenched off my unit, and then I'll deal 2 damage to your base. And then I'll pay 6. I'll play Black 1. I have no cards in my hand, I draw 3.
Yep. This is a card that works really well with Black 1. This is a card that I've seen...
Which is his ship, so, I mean...
Makes sense. This is a card that I've seen a lot of people talk about with Cassian and making Cassian's draw really, really cool. Because on that same turn,
you could flip Cassian, then swing and draw.
Because you can, if Cassian's out, you can even just go swing Poe into something, into a unit to kill it.
Yeah.
Discard 1 to ping 2 to the base to draw a card.
Well, it's 3 for Cassian's ability.
Isn't it on his? But on his when he's awakened, it's just when you deal damage.
Sorry, when it's his flip side, that's true.
Yeah,
it's
so
just
I was saying if he was out.
Yeah. And then you could...
Because you play him turn 5, then next turn you flip Cassian, you swing with him, and then you go, cool, discard a card, ping 2 to the base, kill this, and then draw a card with Cassian's ability.
But a 5 costs 6/6.
Oh, he's just good.
I want to run this in my Han Solo hand discard deck. And I want to be like, hey, turn before this, I play Poe. Turn of, I swing Poe, discard 2 cards, deal 2 damage to your base, you discard a card. Hey, pay 6 for surrender. Discard 3 cards, I'll draw 2, hit your base for 8. I've got my Han Solo out, so he's swinging in. He's hitting you for 4. That's 12 damage. Like, just... Even actually, Cassian hand discard might be really decent because you could just go like, Poe, Cassian, drawing a bunch, force surrender the next turn after Cassian. You can swing, discard 2 cards in your hand, deal the damage, make you discard 1. I'm drawing 1 from Cassian, then I'll pay 6. I'll make you discard another 2, draw another 2, and then you can force throw your opponents. And if it's yellow Cassian, you can spark them. I'm so excited.
This is such a cool card. I really, really, really like this card. I love the art of this card. I love Poe Dameron himself.
Feels like a legendary, is a legendary.
It feels like a legendary, is a legendary.
5 out of 5.
This is going to be a card where you open in your pack and you go, yes, I got my Poe.
And then when you get a hyperspace foil one, you're going to go, yes, Poe.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 out of 5 on the Spice Armor.
Now, moving on to our last card we're talking about. We've had some less spoilers, but somehow we've gone even longer.
Have we? Oh boy! This is a Delphi Patrol Wing. This is a 5-cost Command Hero 4/6 New Republic, second New Republic card, vehicle fighter. Both of them are X-Wings. When played, you may attack with a unit. If you have the initiative, it gets +2/+0 for this attack.
Yeah, so this is a fleet lieutenant with a bigger, bigger
body in space.
With a bigger body in space.
This is a cool card to U-wing reinforcements.
This is a very cool card to U-wing reinforcement. I think this is a very cool card for those kind of mid-range. I think this is a Gluck card through and through.
It's a great wedge card.
This is a fantastic wedge card. Dude, imagine actually being able to play wedge next set.
Because you play this and you swing with wedge, and then you this ambushes.
Yeah, so you get to.
So you get to kill something and attack for 7 at their base.
Yeah.
In one go, and this becomes a 5/7 with wedge out. So hey, all you vehicle lovers out there, get your Wedge Antilles out of your folders.
Oh, dude, those.
How cool is that? That's
I've tried to build a Wedge Antilles deck, and it just doesn't work
right now.
Yet.
But that's pretty rad.
It's very rad.
I mean, like honestly, running Ray vehicles, space rays, because a lot of those blue and like blue hero normal vehicles, they're all 2/3s.
Yeah.
So like X-Wings are 2/3, Arc is a 2/3, and if your turn 1 Arc and then your turn 2 is pay 1 to bump the Arc and then play another Arc, or and then you can just wing leader them after that, and then you can start bumping your wing leaders.
I think with Wedge, one of the big things on why he hasn't been able to be run yet is there's not enough ground vehicles for him.
True.
Because you need to be able to clear the ground to protect him.
True.
And the only ones that we kind of have are already ambush. So it kind of takes away a little bit from his stuff.
I want a land speeder.
Yeah, I would really love some more green hero land vehicles.
Yeah, I'm sad that the modular crew a vehicle.
Modular crew. No.
Isn't it?
Don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. That would have been really cool. Where is it? Modded cohort. Sorry. Modded cohort is not a vehicle. That sucks.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's okay.
That's all the cards that we have. Oh, give it
a 2.5 out of 5.
There we go. That is all the cards that we have today. We will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Again, check out the gameplay. Thank you so much for checking out our spoilers that we released.
We love you. We love you.
Hope you love the new thumbnails. Get excited for more changes coming, more things happening.
More awesome changes.
And we're excited. You're excited. let's get to set 2, baby.
Oh, please, soon. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.